Thank you for the like. So I was watching the interview with Obama. Um, I believe it's an older one. I'm not sure when exactly it was up, but pretty eye-opening stuff. Um, I can go more into it if you would like. Also, if you would please consider leaving a like. Um, uh, anyway, not long ago, there was a pretty big storm. Uh, Pretty windy. Um, the I think only a few branches were uh, um, made up the majority of the damage that had been done to the tree and are in the front of. Uh, did apologies for mispronouncing your name. Did Rote um from Germany. Not too much. Happy to have you here. Um, I don't know if this is gonna sound silly. It probably will sound silly. I don't know if it would be considered an insult, but one of my favorite bands is from Germany. I'm sure you'll well, you might have heard of them. Rammstein, assuming I pronounced that correctly. They're someone I've always wanted to see. My grandfather had um, either family from Germany or ancestry from there, so in a way, I kind of consider myself a part of Germany as well. Um, and I've heard nothing but good things about the people there. That just friendly and um, some of the best people that you could ever meet. The area what? In which they're from, or in which my grandfather had again family from. I would have to ask my mother for more details on that. But his I do not. um, I do not. I did read. I don't know. You could probably correct me on this. Is it true that Till is it Lindemann, the lead singer, was he really an Olympic athlete? I read somewhere that he was an Olympic athlete, or he was a swimmer who wanted to do that as an Olympic athlete, or something along those lines. Oh, in the area that Ramstein is, I guess from. Okay, yeah, that's what I get for going on Wikipedia. Wikipedia is not the best source of information. Um, there's actually a German restaurant near me. It's called the Newport Villa, and what I mean by that is most of their food is Germans that are popular in Germany. And I apologize for that. I meant to say recipes that are dishes that I believe are popular in Germany. I had a Freudian slip there. Prussia of the Balkans. How is it going? Uh, I said Prussian. I meant to say Prussia. Like, doing alright. Uh, hope you're doing either better or alright yourself. Happy to hear that. That's good. It's great news. It's great to hear. And it's crazy how few people realize that. I struggle with that myself. You know, realistically, you should strive to have a positive outlook and try your best to be as happy as possible. But it's a struggle for at least some of us. Um, no matter what no matter what might be going on, it's just one of those things. I completely agree with you. Um, I mean, financially stable. I mean, it depends because there are definitely people who can live happily with less. Um, especially those who never really had much to begin with. Uh, they don't really, I don't want to say they don't really yearn for things as much as those who did have more, but I feel like they have an easier time accepting that. Um, Unfortunately, when you have this mindset that you deserve everything, not only makes you entitled, it also creates this miserable view of things if you don't have more than you have. Hold on a second, I've got to sneeze. Apologies for that. I try to be. Um, well, I thank you for that. And I hope that things are going either going well for you or will go well for you. Just a second, I'm gonna turn the camera off, maybe for a minute or two. Hey, how's it going? It's been a bit. I said at the beginning of the stream, though I doubt anyone was listening. I was watching that most recent interview with President Obama, and I am gonna be one of those people who will continue to refer to him as such. I don't care that he's a former president. In my eyes, if just like you would refer to a former general as a general, a former president in my eyes still deserves the honor of being called president. Um, Especially one who honored the office and deserved the position. Um, to me, the mark of a great leader will always be compassion and the determination to push for greater heights. Um, an articulate speaker, very intelligent, very well read. Um, Unfortunately, at the moment, we've pretty much got somebody with the brain of a white hillbilly, and that's not to be disrespectful to people that are hillbillies who actually are decent human beings, but every time I think of him, I can't not think of a version of Forrest Gump that's evil. Uh, yes. Um, I have a feeling we're going to see the FDR of our lifetime after all this. Not literally, of course, but because to get out all of this, you're going to need the best uh, that you can possibly get. Uh, Or who knows, maybe we'll end up with another Kennedy. Not literally, but one who, kind of fits that same mold. In terms of character and in terms of all the other necessary traits. Um, Also, you said you're grilling. Uh, that's awesome. Um, what was the last thing you had heard? Also, thank you for the 3 likes. Uh, Very much appreciated. Um, One thing I had said is I'm. It's my belief that the next president we have is basically going to be the modern day equivalent of FDR. Because we will need somebody who is great at cleaning up messes and fixing the massive divide. You're going to need someone truly capable of doing that. No, not sure who it will be. Obviously, it's it's my belief that we're kind of in the era of celebrities, uh, being politicians and not just people with former political experience. Um, because we're kind of in a strange era where money seems to be. What about Obama? Also, if I'm not mistaken, I think you're in Florida, right? No, you don't. You don't have to answer that. Obviously, if you're trying to keep it a secret. I mean, it's not like I would ask you where exactly you are located in Florida. Uh, that's okay. I see what you meant. You mean like another Obama or a Carter. See, it's a shame that this is most likely the case, but I don't think we're ever gonna have another Obama. At least not in my lifetime. Because hate is just it's taken over too much. Um, Now there is signs that kind of go against that. I had seen was it a short, a YouTube short basically saying how there's this group of kids on Roblox who made up this little game to protest ICE. Um, oh, is that the last thing you heard? You heard me say? Um, so because obviously kids are going to be future voters. Um, yes, I am. And you can bet that whenever there is a group, they're most likely representing a larger, uh, shall we say, collective. Um, and I don't know if you watch him. There's this guy I'm sub to. His name's Darren Monroe. He pointed out in his video that uh, the reason why you can't get away with all this stuff, and the reason why we're not gonna let you continue to get away with this stuff indefinitely, is because we're a rebel nation. And he's absolutely right. That's what happens when you live in a country that's built off of freedom and built off of more or less doing what you want within obvious, reason and in a legal sense. Um, you have a heck of a time. You'll have a heck of a time corralling everybody and making them do literally what you want. And that fire remains. That fire is on both sides. Maybe not completely, but overwhelmingly so. It's on both sides. And that's not about the Constitution. That's literally just being brought up to believe that you can be your own person. That's ultimately what's going to cause all this to collapse. Because Russia never really had that. You know, keep getting compared to Russia, this, that, and the other, blah 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 blah. They never really had that. Not for a prolonged period of time. And there were, it was more of an ironclad. It was more of an ironclad rule, shall we say? It's a more well-oiled machine. Whereas here, you've just got a lot of greedy idiots that aren't as smart as they think they are. And that's not me trying to necessarily say anything positive about Putin, but you know he is intelligent. Um, he does not. It's Darren Monroe Politics is the name of the channel. Um, you might be referring to the only ones I can think of that do a podcast with their wife, although I have never seen it. Well, maybe on one channel, but not on both. Is Jesse Dollar and then there's Secular Talk. Um, Also, I had meant to say something in response to you bringing up Florida. I was gonna go a little bit off topic and mention how I've been there before, and the two times I was there, I thought it was great. I didn't know about the politics, this, that, and the other. I like the weather. Um, it's a bit emotional, unfortunately for me now because well, maybe I won't go into that, but I see. I was given one more like. Thanks to whoever left it or gave it. Hello there. It's good to see you. Yes, that's the guy. That's the guy from Secular Talk, right? I'm gonna be honest. He's kind of getting on my nerves because he'll say stuff that's not true, and I feel like if you're gonna have a platform, you either know for a fact what you say is accurate, or you just keep it to yourself because he's said things that are not true. I get the feeling that he is just so fired up about things that he kind of hates the Republican Party. I don't mean that literally, but that's the vibe I get from him. And that's just the wrong way to look at things. Because in all honesty, this is not the Republican Party. It's not. In name only. But yeah, he would say things about why can I not remember his name? He was a former congressman? Um, God, what is wrong with me? Uh, Adam Kinzinger. He said stuff about him. Or no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, he has. He has. Um, and this other guy I watch has said stuff about Adam Kinzinger and Michael Steele that is just incorrect. Um, I mean that's what I've been told. It's funny how I'm going off on people for potentially not being factual, and I may have gotten my wires a bit crossed. Uh, Basically said that Michael Steele is only for the rich, and he said something about Adam Kinzinger that I think was to the same effect. Um, and it's like, well, something he said that really got on my nerves was this insistence that if people in the military and people in ICE are really against the things that are going, that they need to resign en masse. Here's the problem with that: if every Marine or a significant amount of them were to resign, do you not realize they're just going to be replaced with true loyalists? And then you're really in dangerous times. Uh, Heck, that could be the reason why they aren't resigning because they realize, hey, we got to toe the line. We got to make sure that you know, that we're here to refuse orders they've given them. Um, because the reality is, the final piece you need to roll over everything is the military. It's not the courts. Like I'll disagree with any politician who says, well, once the courts are gone, that's it. Once the law is gone, that's it. No, they are the last defense. And I don't. What I mean by last defense is not that they would do anything, but they would refuse orders. Yeah, and hey, that doesn't mean he shouldn't be criticized for it. I mean, heck, I'll be honest. In my opinion, uh, I blame Biden a lot for us being in this position. I really do. I'm pretty much convinced that had he uh, resigned at least 2 years into his presidency and let Harris take over, she would have actually been able to show her stuff. And that might have convinced even more people. She probably also would have taken a stronger stand against stuff regarding Trump, and would have fought even harder to see him punished for the laws that he broke. I think he was too soft. He wasn't strong enough, and I don't mean that cognitively or physically. But when you listen to her talk, she's got an intense fire in her that some people would, call me a certain word for saying this, but that kind of reminded me of Obama. And I'm not saying that obviously because of skin color. I'm saying that because I know there are people out there that would try to make that argument. No, she is a woman that has a really strong fire within her, and like Obama, she is very intelligent and articulate. Um, and yes, he ultimately is the reason why that guy was still there. If he had gotten rid of him and put someone far more capable in charge, we might not be here. Meaning we might not be in the position we're in. So yeah. Um, and I know she said she's either talking about it or she's actively pursuing running for governor of California. I think that's the wrong move. Obviously, I don't know her. Obviously, I couldn't convince her. But honestly, it's all hands on deck now. This isn't the time for those who can actually do things to relax. This isn't the time for, um, you know, them to just sit back and say, "Well, I had my shot." No, you had two chances. As the saying goes, a third time is a charm. The third time is a charm. Heck, worst comes to worst, and like I know it's gonna sound crazy. If worst comes to worst and the country splits in two, be president of half of it. Um, yeah. Like in all honesty, who better to handle this than a legal expert? Who better to right these wrongs? And nothing against Tim Waltz, but we need someone young. And I know she's not young, but again, she's got that fire. Uh, All right. Take care. Appreciate you coming by. Um, but yeah, and it's needed. It's needed for future generations too. It's needed to show that if I can do it, anybody can. And I feel like that more or less falls in line with what Washington and the founders wanted. They wanted, and I mean, okay, yeah, there, sexism was rampant, and racism was. I mean, obviously, it's still a big deal, but it was really bad back then. But they seemed to want anyone to be given the chance to become a public servant, to be in government. Yeah, this is gonna sound insane, but if I had a significant amount of followers, I'd throw my name in. I'm dead serious. Everyone's gonna think I'm crazy for saying that, but hey, we can potentially have a disgraced CEO of a pillow company throw his head in for becoming a governor, and he's got no understanding of the world he lives in. Then why couldn't somebody like me do something? Also, if I was her, if she was to run again, I would say get Buttigieg as your running mate. Just get someone who's highly respected, um, and has the best shot. If it wouldn't necessarily go against the Constitution, I'd say ask friggin' Obama if he'd want to be your VP. I'm pretty sure that's be really frowned upon, but I think that's allowed. Um, as others have pointed out, she's. If you're asking me personally, I would vote for her in a heartbeat. The problem is, people still associate youth with inexperience and not being able to handle the heat, so to speak. Um, that's why I hesitate to put her name out there. Um, it'd be nice if there wasn't this obsession with age equaling wisdom, which is kind of proven to be slightly incorrect given the times we're in now. Because there's that old man is not wise at all. um, and you need the absolute best. You need the MVP. That's what you need. I mean, in all honesty, my dream team would be a female president and vice president. I would want AOC and Crockett together, but I feel like that probably wouldn't happen. Um, I would love to be wrong though. I really would. I would love to be wrong and find out. Oh, their names are they're gonna be the candidates, and then they end up winning. I would love for that to be the case, but I just have a feeling in my gut that tells me that neither of them would probably win. They might be better off going for position of governor in their respective states. Uh, and I'm a little bit concerned about people saying Buttigieg because let's not forget where we're at. We're in a place where a lot of individuals are homophobes. And it's a shame because when you listen to him speak, he has that same fire and determination. But people are just obsessed with their hate. And we unfortunately live in a country where you can't take away the right to vote from people that are hateful. If you could, it'd be amazing. But, people say, oh, you're infringing on my rights. You can't do that. Well, hey, stop being hateful and worry about others. And recognize that a person being different from you is not impacting you in the slightest. I'm so sick and tired of that. It's like arguing with a, it's like you're trying to argue with a bunch of foul-tempered children. I mean, I guess it's possible that AOC would get, at least I would hope, a significant um, amount of support from the Hispanic community. Um, and she would definitely make people feel safe. Um, but you need someone who's going to be able to fight against the nonsense of somebody like MTG, because I guarantee you, if she was to put her head in, you're going to see MTG trying to go for presidency, and we do not need that. Um, Also, you would think that if she was gonna do that, the best time to start setting things in motion would be right now. I mean that fight against oligarchy tour does show that she's got a lot of support. Then it also makes you wonder, well, is that mostly because of Sanders or because of her? If it's because of her, then that's amazing. That means that you've got quite a lot of support, um, and you need that. Um, and as I don't know about you. Sometimes I get the feeling that a lot of these podcasters say certain things just because they want to get views and are not being completely honest. Um, like referring to where we live as Russia, saying that, oh, we're in a full fledged, dictatorship. If that's the case, then why are there millions of people protesting? Not only peacefully, but making it back home in for the most part in one piece. You think that will fly in a full fledged dictatorship? Because it wouldn't. You couldn't protest in Russia. You couldn't protest in China. You couldn't protest in Korea. You wouldn't see the courts in a country like that fighting against all this stuff. So yeah, I think it's a little bit fear mongery to say, oh, we're in a full on dictatorship. No, if we are, then this is a pretty weak one because the cracks in the armor are getting bigger and bigger. Um, and the one thing you can count on is people love their freedom too much here to give it up. They're not going to give it up without a fight. I can tell you that much. It's the American pride, which can kind of both be a blessing and a curse at the same time. But in this instance, it's definitely a blessing. Um, so I'm always fired up. Always, always, always. Um, and I feel like you kind of have to be because if you aren't, look, you can either be a fighter or you can encourage other people to do it. You can be a motivator. You can inspire. Um, and I'm hoping that that's what I can be. One who encourages inspiration, who inspires, who puts fuel into the tank. Um, I mean, that's the reason why I've kind of had a stick up my butt about wanting more subs. It's never been about, oh, I want to be one of those people who gets enough subs to profit off this. No, I want enough of a base to speak to encourage, to reach out to not literally, but in a sort of way build my own kind of army. Um, that's the real reason why I want to see this sub count go up significantly. Because I don't know, it just feels like something I need to do. Not be one of those reporters, not be one of those people sitting behind a desk and wearing nice shirts and having podcasts and bringing other people on. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I was ever lucky enough to be contacted by a former politician or something and say, hey, I want to chat with you. I would not turn that down, but you're absolutely right about that, and it's not going to be the kind of fight that they're thinking about. It's going to be the kind of fight they don't want. And they don't have their army like they think they do. It's only going to end badly for them. If they do push things too far, bye bye to your entire party. Like all of you who are currently in power are going to be in jail. Um, the rest of them will be way too scared to ever run for anything again. Like they're pretty much just digging their own graves. Not literally speaking, but like career wise, they're digging themselves a hole. I watched this. There's this veteran I've been watching on Facebook, and it's interesting how veterans tend to be, for me, the biggest source of. I hate to say the word hope because it kind of goes beyond hope. It's confirmation that not that, oh, this is all gonna go away, but that that I lost my train of thought. Wow. Um. Oh yeah, there's one guy I watched that and I haven't watched him for that long, so I kind of just had to take his word for it. But he said he had apparently been saying for a long time that it's gonna be the Republicans who take care of all this. Their voter base, that their voter base are going to be the ones who resolve all of this, and that we should pretty much just sit back, not literally sit back and do nothing, but um, I mean, I'll be honest. I'm probably not gonna be expected to do anything anyway. I'm pretty sure it's mostly gonna be taken care of by others. It doesn't mean that I wouldn't do something if I had to, but now all that being said, I will say I am still pretty angry with uh, the rank and file on the donkey side, um, because all they're doing is shouting and talking about things, and I feel like they should be doing things behind the scenes. They should be planning things um, privately. They should be conversing with judges. They should be conversing with experts. They should be gathering anyone in law enforcement, and being like, look, we need to build something to stop all this. Oh, I hear you. It's terrifying. Um, Less so, um, for me at the moment. In fact, it gets less scary as time goes on. Ironically enough, that military parade actually helped a lot with that because, pun intended, that was quite a squeaker. Um, yeah, that's unfortunately there are still too many people that aren't taking it seriously or don't believe any of this stuff, but they will. This is gonna sound awful because I would be negatively impacted by this, and I'm sure you and so many other people would be too. But in a way, that bill going through would probably be one of the best things to ever happen because then all those people who don't believe any of this would believe it. That's when they would finally realize that we made a really big mistake and we need to rectify it. Hello, little one. It's my cat coming to say hi. Hey, Pip. Hey. Storm was scaring you, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Wasn't it? Hello. Hello. Hey. What are you doing? Hello, baby. Hello. Hello. I'm confident of one thing. One other thing. And people might call me crazy for this. There's never going to be a president this bad again. Not as long as I'm alive. I can pretty much guarantee that. After him, that's it. It only gets better. Um, you want to leave the country? So I have a friend, who in the next 2 years is apparently going to Mexico. His father, I think, is what I don't actually remember. I think his father passed away, but his father was from Mexico, and so he is evidently looking into relocating to there. Um, and if things get that bad to where everybody has to leave, it probably happened to me too. The ones who should, if they can, get out as soon as possible are women and anybody who's being targeted by ICE and anyone who's being, let's just say, attacked right away. Um, 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 let's just say, attacked Yeah, that is definitely the biggest obstacle. Um, but we are. I'm hearing things about like Canada's apparently in the process of their uh opening their door, so to speak. Um, I think I heard that they were gonna offer Abrego Garcia uh, a place in Canada. Um, I imagine that if that is true, they'll most likely extend that invitation to more people. Um, at least grant them asylum. Um, you don't have family from in a different country, do you? Because if you did, uh, they might be able to take you in and make it easier. Absolutely, I do. Like if I had the finances to do so and had a passport, I'd be out of here right now. But I kind of always had the desire. I had that desire for since well before all this. Um, but absolutely, if I had the means to do so, I'd be out of here. I'd be gone. That's why I'm kind of trying to find a source of income so that I can earn enough money, hopefully within time, to actually make that a reality. And then adios. Well, that's awesome. That should help you out a lot. Um, and I mean, if you're like you maybe you could potentially get maybe you could potentially get in as a student, or get some kind of employment. Um, and if you have family in another country, well, once again, they could take you in and help you get settled and help you get established. Um, yeah, I mean, I like to think that they would take care of people because let's be honest, most Western countries are not don't have vile people as leaders like ours does at the moment. There's AI jobs though you could potentially get in on. Um, so if you're able to look into that, um, I mean, ideally I'd go to Canada, but um, like if I could literally move anywhere, it would be somewhere where they don't speak English as a first language, which would really mess things up for me. Why what? I don't know if you're still there. Um, ow. Oh, my back. I guess that's what I get. Uh, okay, so I don't know if anyone is still around and watching. I'm thinking about ending the stream. Uh, so yeah. So if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, also comment your thoughts on anything in general. Thank you all for watching and engaging in the comments section. And until Now, also anyone who may be watching after the fact, please consider liking, subscribing, and commenting. Uh, so take care, and I will see you in the next one.